Hey there, good looking. Join me for this no repeat glute and leg workout. Now, this is all strengthening. However, we will not repeat an exercise. So that means we have like a gazillion different exercises to do. Just joking, we don't. We have 22 of my favorite moves to hit the glutes and the legs. All you need are a couple of pairs of dumbbells are recommended. You can definitely do this with just one pair of dumbbells, but if you have some choices, grab what you consider are heavy and moderate dumbbells. For reference, and this is only for reference, I'm using a pair of heavies, my 20 pounds, and for my moderates, a pair of 12s. All right, let's go get working. Hello there and welcome. My name is PJ Wren, if you haven't trained with me before, and I'm a certified personal trainer and have been for almost 3 decades now, focusing on the over 40 body. And if you are watching this ads-free on the Over 50 Fitness app, hello crew! And for those of you that are part of my Patreon community and the only reason that we can have a YouTube channel, mwah! Good to have you here. All right, let's get warmed up. As we warm up, I'm going to chat about the workout, all right? We have some movement patterns too I want to teach you before we get into this no repeat workout. Let's get into all fours, wrists under shoulders, knees apart underneath the hips. Start by warming up the spine. Inhale, allow the low back to sag, the head looks up. Exhale, push the ground away, tuck the tailbone under. Great job. Let's do 3 more. Last one. And neutral spine, extend your left leg, flex the foot, bring the heel up without losing that lumbar curve so we're not swinging the leg up, warming up into the glute and hamstring here. So for each exercise, we have 45 seconds of work, 15-second transition. I'm going to ask you to grab certain weight, but I want you to go with what's feeling good for you today. Right? Each day could be a little different, so you might want to go a little lighter, or heck, maybe you can go a little heavier. So listen to what your body's telling you. Last 2. Now keep the leg elevated for me, flex that foot, bring the heel to the bum, and then straighten the leg. So we're trying to get this leg as parallel to our ground as we can, and just bending at the knee now, working into the hamstring. Good. Last 4. 3, you should be getting a little warm in the tush as well. 2, I know I am. 1, bring the knees together, that same leg again, fire hydrant up, getting into the lateral hip now. Two more. All right, that knee's underneath the hip. Extend the other leg. Flex the foot. Push the heel up to your ceiling. Lower down. So we're just moving through the hip joint on this one. 4 more, and we'll keep the leg up there for our hamstring curls. Last 2. Leg stays straight. Flex that foot. Heel to bum for 8. Two more. Knees together and fire hydrant. Lift that leg that we were just working right out to your side, trying to get the inside knee up parallel to your floor. Last 2. And 1. Beautiful. Come on up. Feet are shoulder width apart, knees are soft, hands light behind the ears. Give me a hip hinge, learning our deadlift pattern. We have a couple of different variations of deadlifts coming up in the program, but what is most important is that you understand that where we are hinging from. So we're not rounding the back and going through the belly button, pant, waistline. Instead, we are going through the leg crease here, pushing the bum rearward. Good. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Step back left leg, lunge as low as it feels comfortable, and then twist to the front leg and other side. So for your lunges in this workout, or split squats, whatever you want to call them, I want you to take it down as deep as it feels comfortable for your knees. For some of you, that may be keeping that back leg fairly straight. Again, just listen to what your joints are telling you. For more advanced, if you can get the knee to the ground, let's go for it. Last one. And single leg kick. Here we go. Swing it back. Good. Whoops, I activated Siri by accident. Last two. Other side. Here we go. Get that arm up there, really swinging the leg. Good. One more. All right. Grab what you consider your heavy. Goblet squat. We're going to position the feet wider than the shoulders. Toes are turned out. Now sink down and drive up, straightening the legs. Dumbbell stays close to the body, and it's called a goblet squat solely by just the way we're holding the dumbbell. Now, beginners, you might want to start with no weight. I want you to be able to walk tomorrow, so I want you to choose what's going to fatigue you now. But remember, as you continue with any program, whether it's mine or someone else's, make sure you do keep increasing the intensity by adding heavier weights. Couple more reps, and then a dumbbell in each hand for kickstand deadlifts. One more, and release. All right. Let's take that left leg, kickstand it behind. Now we're hinging through the hip like we learned in warm-up, coming forward with a neutral spine and then driving all the way up. Ready? Let's give it a try. So I grab both of my 20s. You can also use your lighter weights or one dumbbell or no weight. I really want you to understand though, if you're looking for results, we do need to keep increasing the weights as you go. For those of you that are part of my Patreon and Over 50 Fitness community, you guys know this, but there are some that have just hopped on and maybe you think, 3-pound dumbbells will get you your results. Unfortunately, they won't. You need to overload the muscle so that it rebuilds stronger in the next 24, 48 hours. Now, when the timer goes, this left leg is going to step back for a split squat. Time. So get rid of one dumbbell, rack this up with the left shoulder, step back with that left leg. Now, taking it down into as deep as it feels good for you, split squat. More advanced people, can you get your back knee to the ground? Again, moving through that knee that feels best for you and where you're at right now. When the timer goes, we've got that kickstand deadlift with the other leg. A lot of core in this particular move right here too, using just the one dumbbell on the shoulder, a lot of obliques, deep core muscle activated. Time. Whew. All right, so grab the other dumbbell if you're using 2 for your deadlift. Now we kickstand the right leg. We're trying to put all the work now into the left leg. It's a hip hinge, dumbbells slide down the front of the thigh, drive the glute, and go. Make sure that the shoulder blades are pulled together. You might not even notice. Maybe your back is rounding. Just do a recheck as you go. Let's do one more here. Drive up. All right, now this right leg steps all the way back. Okay, we get into our lunge position or split squat, whatever you like to call it. And ready, set, take it down. Now you're taking it down as deep again as it feels. Best for your knees. Noting that each side of the body could feel quite different, so just give it the respect that it needs. Woo. Time. Woo, baby. Legs are getting warm now. Now we're moving into a narrow stance squat, holding the dumbbell end to end close to the body. So feet are just hip width now. Push your booty rear and then drive up. So by bringing the stance in, we now get a little bit more focus on the quad. The first exercise, the goblet with the feet wider, a little bit more into the glute. We're on the mat for the next series of moves, and you'll probably need one heavy and your one moderate or a lighter weight if you have it available. I woke up with a pain in my mid-back, right here. Like it's quite painful. Time. I have not got a clue what I did. It's just one of the joys of being 50, right? You wake up, what's this? Don't know what I did there. All right, weighted bridges. Woo! Feet hip width, heels close to the bum. Dumbbell is resting on the hips, not your belly, because you want your glutes to take the weight. So you'll hold on to the end of the weight with the hand so that the dumbbell doesn't roll. But again, you want to make sure that the glutes are taking the weight of this. When we lift up, we're not flaring the rib cage. We're still keeping the core fairly tight and just trying to move through the glute only. Yeah, each day is a new day when you're over 50. You wake up and, oh, cool. Where'd I get that bruise from? How come that hurts today? I didn't do anything yesterday. I literally didn't do anything yesterday either. Time. Oh, geez. All right, this is completely optional. Dumbbell behind the knee, donkey kick. Let's do the left side. You start with a straight leg, you bend the knee, and you get that sucker in there. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, press the heel up, and release the knees together. So when we do this, a couple things to be aware of. You're keeping that leg bent, especially if you have the dumbbell. We want to keep that dumbbell there. And then you want to pull the belly button in towards the spine. So we're not arching the back. We're just lifting the leg up purely through the glute, not compromising through the low spine. When the timer goes, we'll do the other side. I did a little bit of gardening yesterday, and if it's the gardening that did my back in, and I did very little time, then shoot me now and put me out of my misery. All right, start with straight leg, bend the knee. Keep that dumbbell there. Wrists under shoulders, knees apart underneath the hips, flex the feet, and press the heel up. Like I pulled a few weeds. That's about it. I cooked. Maybe I threw my back out cooking. There is a great excuse not to cook anymore. I don't know about you, but I'm really tired of cooking. Woo! Now you should feel your glutes fired up, especially if you're with me with the dumbbell. So it's a weighted donkey kick. We have one more mat-based move after this, and then we'll stand. One more. Release. All right. If you can, we're going to use the heavier dumbbell for frog pumps. If you know what that is, then get set up. If you don't, it's like a bridge, but open the knees up, and we don't let the bum drop on the floor for each rep. So we kind of just pump it. It looks really rude, actually, and you're going to do this in the safety of your own house. As opposed to me that's doing it on YouTube for 100,000 people. That's okay. Nothing can embarrass me anymore. I've done it all. Oh boy. Woo! Can you feel that in the tush? Yes. Keep those knees opened. So I'm literally resting on the outer edge of my feet. Again, I've got my hands just holding that dumbbell there, but that's it. The glutes are holding the weight, and that's what's creating the intensity here. Time. Woo. All right. Now, you can keep one dumbbell or no dumbbell. I want you to mirror me. You're going to step out, dumbbell to the ground, and step in. This side, ready, set, go. Push the bum back. Good. So we're hip hinging. We're doing what we learned in warm up and what we did in the split stance deadlift. With the dumbbell, obviously added weight makes it more challenging. You can also have one in each hand. When you step out, you want your toe, knee, and hips and shoulders to meet. So we're not turning towards the side that you're stepping out. When the timer goes, I'm not quite done with this leg. We got one more thing to do, and then we'll do the other side lunge. One more. All right, bend the knees to put your dumbbell down. All right, mirror me, bend this leg, focus your stare on something stationary, and now it's a standing fire hydrant for our glute med. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So, really important, once you see me, I just want you to find something else to look at, so something that's stationary. I don't want you to hold on to anything. I want you to work your balance and your stability here. Now the leg that stays on the ground, the knee is soft, the hips are pushed back slightly. So we've got a bit of a hip hinge here. And we're trying to lift that leg right out to our side, trying to get that inner knee parallel to your floor, just like we did in warm up when we were on all fours. Activating that lateral hip with this movement. Whew, and you're definitely feeling everything in that stabilizing leg. Last 2. One more, and release. All right, so we've got side lunge now, other leg. You choose what size dumbbell you want. You're gonna keep yourself square to me, remember? Toe, knee, hips, shoulders. Ready? Let's go. Last few reps. Let's do one more. All right, standing fire hydrant with this leg now. So, softness in the knee. Bend this leg at 90 degrees. Focus your stare on something stationary and lift it up. So this actually isn't a real booty building exercise because it's body weight, right? You need to lift heavy to build your glutes. What this will do though is train the stabilizers in the hip so that as we add more weight to our lunges, our squats, our deadlifts, our hip thrust bridges, right? All the supporting structures can handle the load. That's why it's important to take a look at the stabilizers as well as your core. If you don't have strength in those and you add some of these exercises, it's not going to do you any good, and you're going to end up in physio. So we want to make sure we have a well-rounded program. Woo! Time. All right. I'm going to grab onto 112. We have alternating lunges. Now you can hold the dumbbell here, or you can join me with a dumbbell pass. So what does that mean? That means I'm going to step back, pass the dumbbell under my leg, and then pass it under my other leg. Now, I have been training people long enough that this move, for some reason, really messes with people's heads. So if you cannot get this, just keep the dumbbell here, okay? Don't get frustrated. There's always a workaround. But by passing it under our thigh, we're making our knees bend a bit more. Woo! You'll see I bring my arms right out so I don't have the temptation to grab the dumbbell twice. Just pass it under one thigh one time and then the other. Last few reps. One more. Time. All right, a heavy in each hand. Okay, we got the big guns coming up now. Your RDL, Romanian deadlift. Feet shoulder width. What that means is a deadlift with also a bit of a squat pattern to it. So we're going to bend the knees and drive up. Pull the shoulders back and down. Once you've seen me, I want you to look straight ahead where the wall and the ceiling meet in your house. Unless you have really high ceilings, and just look straight ahead, okay? You can even go a bit wider with the stance and let the toes turn out a little bit. Whatever's going to feel best for you right now. Nothing should be happening in your low back though. So hip hinge, neutral spine, belly button drawn in, bend those knees, perform it through the hamstrings and glutes. And time. Woo! All right. Find a piece of wall for a wall sit. If you don't have one accessible, you're going to hold it into a static squat like so. Everybody else, your back is against the wall. Slide yourself down. If you can, we want the thighs parallel to the floor. What we want for sure for everybody against a wall are the knees lined up with the ankles. Slide the chin in so the back of the head is against your wall. You can also hold on to a dumbbell. Make it harder. Whew. If you don't have access to a wall, you're holding a static squat in the air, my friend. Whoo, hoo, hoo. 20 more seconds, and then we grab our one heavy. Whew. Quads talking to you yet? Yeah, they're talking to me too. Whew. 3, 2, 1, and up. Whoo, baby. All right, the next one's going to feel real special after this one. Hold it up there in goblet style. Remember, we learned that means up there in the chest. Sink down into a quarter squat. Give me 2 side steps to one direction, and then 2 the other way. Good. So, thighs, and now a little bit of lateral hip here. Keep the dumbbell close to the body, nothing in your back. Shoulder blades pulled back and down. The lower you sink, the harder you work. Last couple of seconds here. Time. Woo! All right. I'm placing a dumbbell in each hand. I'm using my heavies. We've got a curtsey lunge. Take your feet hip width apart. All right, and then step back with the left leg across the midline of the body. Sink down and drive up. So it's stationary. That leg is crossed over the midline. So we've got a little bit more glute action. Pull that belly button in and breathe, all right? We're almost there. We're on our last few moves, and then we stretch. So tell those legs just a little bit more. This one is tough, especially if you've loaded yourself up with the dumbbells. Time. Woo! All right, whatever leg was behind you, which was our left, so you won't be mirroring me on this. No dumbbell. We're going to take that left leg and pretend we're kicking a soccer ball and really try to fire up our inner thigh. Softness in the other leg. Bring it across. Lead with the heel. Then let the toe tap just to get a quick balance check, and then boom, next rep. You should feel pretty quick that inner thigh activated, and then the stabilizing leg. So again, working other muscles other than just the global ones, your quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes. Last couple of reps. One more. Whew. All right, we've just got the other leg to do, and then we're done, all right? So curtsey lunge, grab dumbbells if you want them, feet hip width apart. Now step back with that right leg across the midline of the body, find your balance, and down, and drive up. I really have to focus on something stationary for this one. It's really challenging my balance today, so if you find you're like me right now and feel very wobbly, I think this is normal. I think this is normal. I think. I read it on the internet. It's totally normal. Time. It is normal. Here we go. We got our last exercise. We're focusing on that right inner thigh now, so you won't be mirroring me. We're bringing it across the midline, kicking that imaginary soccer ball. So kick it, follow through. Stabilizing knee is soft. Whew. You're going to want to watch the very end. I have a blooper for sure at the end of this workout, but I also have a funny story that loving husband said to me as I walked down the stairs with this shirt on. I know it wasn't, damn, you look like Jennifer Lopez. That would have been the right response. Okay, last 3, come on. 2, 1, time. Woo! All right, grab a sip of water. If you need to leave me because you're stuck for time, just push pause on this and come back for your stretches later when you can. Otherwise, we are going to stretch out the legs now. All right, I'm going to grab a sip of water as well. Whew. Mine has BCAAs and branched chain amino acids, and they help with energy while you work out, as well as recovery. We have a nutritionist now at Over 50 Fitness, and she's done a ton of health talks for us and releases recipes for the group every month. But yeah, I've always done BCAAs, but it was even more validating when I heard her do a whole talk on best pre and post workout nutrition. If you want to know which one I use, you can head to the website and you'll see it there. All right, heel to the bum, pull the knee back. Feel that nice, lovely quad stretch. So great job. We did 22 different moves, 22 minutes of non-stop legs. I tried to give you a good balance of knee flexion and then hip extension, meaning that we don't bend the knee like squat, 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 lunge, 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 jump, jump, jump. All right, we need to balance it out, especially as we get older. The knees just can't handle repetitive squats and lunges. We also want to think about training the body in a 360-degree manner and also remembering that those auxiliary muscles, those stabilizers like our glute med, even our core muscles, our rector spinae and the spine need to be trained as well so that we're strong with our lifts. Other leg. Again, though, if you're part of Patreon and Over 50 Fitness, you know there's a lot of education that happens with both groups. Because I want you to know the whys of training so that if you do other workouts, you're well informed because there's a lot of fluff out there. All right, left knee to ground. Let's get into hip flexor. We learned how to make it orgasmic the other week. Do you remember? Knee underneath the hip. If you missed that one, that was a good workout. Tuck the tailbone under. Good. Squeeze that left glute. You should feel that nice release in the hip. Inhale, left arm straight up. Separating rib from hip and then lean. Whew. Okay, you do that. I can't do that. My back does not like that. I don't know what I did yesterday. It almost feels like there's a rib out. Are there any chiropractors here on the channel? Do you make house calls to Vancouver? Yeah, I think it's a rib out. Or misaligned. All right, let's do the other side. So again, how do we make this orgasmic? Well, we want to get the knee underneath the hip. Then we want to lunge forward slightly and squeeze that glute and extend the spine back, all right? So the fibers of your psoas are attached to the very front of your lower lumbar. So if we flex forward, it's not a good stretch for the psoas, for your hip flexor. If we extend, now it's orgasmic. Here you go, arm up and lean. All right, let's go back to the other knee now. Take this leg out to your side. Inside of the foot is resting on the ground. Bring your arms in front, and now simply sit back on your heels, feeling a nice stretch in the adductors on that other leg, that leg that's extended. And maybe even to your low back a little bit too. Couple more breaths. Great job. Come on up. Other knee, other leg extends, inside of the foot, resting on your floor. Maybe adjust your hands so they're in front and sit back. And release. Lying down, our last two stretches for the hamstrings and the glutes. Let's take that left leg straight up. This is a fairly standard stretch that I do in most of the workouts. When it comes to stretching the hamstrings, I prefer it supine, so lying down. The reason being is we don't get into the habit of rounding the back and we get that length where we need it, which is in the hip and leg. If this feels okay for you, straighten your other leg. Now take this left leg, cross it over that right one absolutely completely, like you're wearing a skirt and you're sitting cross-legged. Now bring the knees towards the chest, hands come underneath and grab onto that right shin and stretching into the left glute. And then make any adjustments you need to make sure the alignment for the rest of the body is good. Maybe lift the head up, slide the chin in, lengthen the back of the neck. Relax the shoulders as best you can. Relax the face. Soften the gaze. And just take some nice, as deep a breath as you can in this position. Feeling that ground supports you. And left leg to ground, right leg extends. Get that stretch into the hamstring. And if your leg isn't shaking and this feels okay for you, feel free to straighten your left. So if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. I hope you subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to keep working with me, there's a couple of different ways down in the description there. The first is supporting the YouTube channel on Patreon, or come and join us over on Over 50 Fitness. There's a link for a 14-day trial down below. And bend that leg, right, crosses right over again like you're wearing a skirt. Lift the knees, bring the hands underneath, grab onto the top of that left shin, pull the knees in, and again, you may have to pull a little harder or you may be a little tighter. Remembering that each side of the body can be a little different, and just give it the respect it needs and that it deserves. I know I was complaining about my mid-back earlier, but I am still so thankful that my body can do most of what I want it to do in the day. And it brings me great joy to be able to do the workouts for you. So I do appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in and for supporting me. And release. You can bring both knees into your chest if you like. Rock them side to side if that feels good. And rock yourself up to seated position or roll on your side and use your arms to push yourself up. Hey, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Again, if you're on YouTube, hopefully you click that subscribe and check out those other 2 ways that we can continue working together. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you next workout. Mwah! Bye. We will be training the legs and the glutes, and all you need are a couple of pairs of dumbbells. So I recommend you grab a pair of moderate and a pair of heavy. Now for reference, I'm using a pair of yeah, I am. Do you have a pair of those? No? Oh, okay. Well, I'm pretty certain I got them on Amazon. Okay, so this is not a blooper. This is a little story. I came downstairs. Loving husband says, "Oh, you look like an Easter egg," because of my new shirt. I said, "Oh, thanks." And he said, "No, that's a compliment." I replied, "How can looking like an Easter egg be a compliment?" He replies, "Everybody loves getting Easter eggs." What a jerk, huh? Gotta love him.